Welcome back to News Desk. Lawyer Ken Ogeto has this morning appeared before the William Cheptumo-led Justice and Legal Affairs Committee for grilling for the position of Solicitor General following his nomination by President Uhuru Kenyatta. The grilling went on despite a court challenge by activist Ogeto Faces, who argues that Ogeto's nomination is unconstitutional since President Uhuru Kenyatta has not followed the procedures and there was no public participation. Our reporter Duncan Haemba is at Parliament, where the hearing has just ended and now joins us for an update. Duncan, good afternoon. How was the vetting for the Solicitor General nominee, Ken Ogeto?
Good afternoon to you, Michelle. The vetting process, I think it took the shortest time possible. I think for the simple reason, perhaps, the missing in action of a majority of NASA members. And it's important to note that Bobasi, a member of Parliament, Ben Momanyi actually was here. That is a Wiper MP. He participated in that vetting as a friend to that committee. And therefore, at least we had Ben Momanyi from Wiper, who's part of NASA, that perhaps, despite the rest staying away from participating in this particular vetting process, he was there. And therefore, with the absence of NASA MPs, perhaps that would have naturally raised issues with the nomination of Ken Ogeto as the next Solicitor General. The exercise was fairly swift. There were no major hitches here and there, and therefore it ended shortly after 12. And I think it took approximately 1.5 hours. Of course, it was chaired by Baringo North Member of Parliament, William Cheptumo. But there are some issues that came about because, one, the committee unanimously agreed that the nominee, unlike the other who've appeared before the Appointments Committee, there was no point of going public, at least before the media, to declare his net worth. They said since he has already submitted that in terms of his declaration, that was sufficient, and therefore that was a bit unusual. And also the fact that he did not present with him his certificate of admission to the bar. Those are some of the glaring issues that perhaps we were able to pick in that particular process for the duration he appeared before the Cheptumo-led committee. But Michelle, perhaps just to inform you that in his introductory speech, what you'd say his promise before the committee, if at all his nomination is approved by the committee and subsequently the National Assembly, he has promised a raft of issues. Among them, he says that he will endeavor to reduce litigation against government to the bare minimum. And of course, he says that he will ensure that there is strict compliance with Section 19 of the Attorney General Act, in that which obligates all government agencies to ensure that the Attorney General's opinion is sought before any matters that the government intends to undertake, just to ensure that any matters that raise substantial legal and constitutional issues, the Attorney General will be in the picture. Remember, in the Githu Muigai tenure, there were a lot of issues with some bills that Parliament would pass into law only to be overturned by the court. Therefore, he says he'll ensure that the participation of the AG at every stage is very important. Another undertaking he has given is that he will ensure the state law is fully involved in the legislative process, that all laws that to ensure that all laws that come out will withstand the constitutionality to avoid unnecessary expensive litigation. And then, of course, that famous line, the zero tolerance approach to corruption, that is another one that is promising, among other issues. But he's been put on task on the issue of conflict of interest in the sense that, as it stands, the pending government bills in terms of litigation costs that they're supposed to pay to members of public various organizations is at 88 billion, and the committee says their projection is when ongoing court cases are completed, the government pending bills might jump up to 1.2 trillion. Therefore, he was being asked, would there be any conflict of interest in that, in his his 27 year of practice as an advocate, he's represented various individuals who could be among the 88 billion pending government bills. So he's been asked in terms of ensuring fast-tracking their payment, how will he go about that? But actually he has said when that matter arises, what he will do basically will be ensuring that it's first come, first served basis on that particular aspect. Michelle.
All right, many thanks. It is Duncan Hammer there joining us live from Parliament, where the Solicitor General nominee Ken Ogeto has just finished.